Yeah, marhaba ya shabab. Hello and welcome guys and girls to a brand new video. So this video is a bit different than my other ones because I have published my first blog article. If you go on my website, habibi-coding.com minus index, um, yeah, if you come here, you will see a new menu point, blog. And as you can see, I've already here a new blog article. And this blog article here is about Debian versus Ubuntu. Yeah, don't mind the YouTube video is the wrong one. I will post the one that you are seeing right now here. Here you have the written version. And now I'm giving you the video format like you are used to from my videos. But yes, first of all, let me just talk with you why I chose to make this video because as you know, as a software developer, our product runs on any kind of operating system. Yes, as you know, I mean, as a backend developer, most likely your application will run or applications, if you use microservices, will run on any kind of Linux machine. And also, if you write an Android app, it will run on Android, which is a fork from a Linux distro. And yes, um, also your front-end application will be run on any kind of Linux server. So I thought let's do a video about the most, I would say, in my opinion, most popular ones from the Linux distros, which is of course Debian and Ubuntu, and Debian versus Ubuntu. To be fair, both of them are very quite similar. Um, yes, both are quite similar. And even what I know is that Ubuntu was, yeah, made out of, forked out of Debian. And yeah, I thought let's do a video about it. Let's talk a little bit about it, and then let's see the similarities. And yeah, just for key characteristics that I pointed out, Debian is a very stable one. They only release new updates for the core for a new Debian version when everything is ready to use. They are very focused on stability and they are very community driven. They have quite a lot of repositories and so on and so forth. And then you have Ubuntu, which is more, I would say, easier to use for especially for people who never used another Linux distro before. I mean, normally you encounter any kind of Linux distro in your school or I would say in university. And yeah, so most likely Ubuntu is a very user-friendly one. It has also, yeah, I would say a good package manager and also the GUI, the GNOME GUI is quite good and you don't need to use a terminal. And yes, that's I would say the key differences. I pointed some out here. And yes, so what I want to do, let's take a look at what we have here. And yeah, let's take a look at what kind of similar commands we have here. Oh, in order to get some action here, I've decided to start on A- AWS, but go ahead on Azure or Google Cloud or I don't know DigitalOcean or also Linode, I mean slash Akamai to start a new Debian server. And here on the left is a Debian server, as you can see. And here on the right, I have an Ubuntu machine. And yes, as you can see, the commands to get the release, which version I'm using here is the same. And yeah, dismiss tip. And this is most likely the same for other commands as well. They're most likely very, very similar. If you do, for instance, here sudo apt update. Yeah, now it wants my password. Let's give it to it. Also here sudo apt update. Update. Okay, as you can see, here are some things are running. I mean, it's the same command. And while it's running, this is one of the first things you should do when you ever start a new instance. Doesn't matter if you start a new Debian instance or Ubuntu one, you should update the packages to be on the safe side, to not have any security holes on your web server. Now let's do an upgrade. Say yes. Same here. Let's go here. Sudo upgrade. Say also here yes. As you can see, it's very similar. Everything what you see in the logs looks quite similar, with some minor changes regarding the packages, of course. As you can see, on Ubuntu, there's yeah, it depends on. I mean, I would say, yeah. As you can see, it would be now the same. I will just wait a little bit until the Ubuntu version is also finished. I'm pretty sure there are actually also more packages on Ubuntu to update and so on, actually to install. Uh, yes, because yeah, as to be honest, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just because of the version. I just thought maybe that the ecosystem is a little bit more advanced on Ubuntu or more diverse, I would say, because yeah, Debian is mostly used on for enterprises. I mean, mostly, not necessarily, but yes, I mean, for especially for companies where stability is a big thing, when they install packages that it is working, and on Ubuntu there might be, most likely will also a new package will always also work on Ubuntu, but might be some bugs here and there. And also what I know is that Ubuntu is also partly developed by not only by Canonical but also with Amazon. Okay, there was nothing no upgrades specific stuff here. I just click here on OK, enter. And yes, I mean, as you can see, it runs through. Both now should be have the latest updates, and also the package should be upgraded. You can hear with the if the arrow which points to the top, you can go again to the history, do an update. Same as well for Ubuntu. Just click on the up arrow and say again update. Should be nothing actually to update. So, and now we will do an upgrade again, and let's do an upgrade again. Yeah, this is the most important thing what you should do on any kind of new web server. So to make sure that every security hole is patched, everything is up to date. And now let's install some things. This is usually what you do next. So the apt install, let's install Nginx. Yes, Nginx can be used as a web server and a load balancer. So yes, and here as well, sudo apt install nginx. Yes. Okay. Now, okay, now let's clear the history. Clear the history. And what we will do is now, since we have installed nginx, let's do apt search nginx. There are quite some things which are found here. Let's do also here apt search nginx. So let's walk through it a little bit to see, okay, which, I mean, the packages are should be also the same here. I mean, most likely, yes, Golang is used for other stuff, yes, and here as well. That's nice, here as well. Python, okay. Yeah, this is, I mean, these are some basic commands that are very important to have, you know, to know the install, and also if you want to remove something, let's remove again anything. Let's go to instead installing Nginx. Let's say remove, and this time we'll put here minus y for yes. As you can see, it's now removed. Same we'll do here. Okay, here, sorry, sudo apt remove nginx minus y for yes. And yes, now we have removed nginx. That's great. And yeah, these are the most important things I would say to know how to install packages and so on and so forth. And as you can see, it's quite similar. Everything. We can also take a look at other things. Very important also if you're on a web server, if you're establish a SSH connection, what you also want to do is to ping stuff. Let's ping, I would say, amazon.com. See what we got here. Let's start here as well, ping amazon.com. Yeah, and I would say this is a bit also the beauty of Linux in general, or commands that you know in terminal, because once you learn them, you have it in your memory, you can always use them. It's, as you can see, I just aborted it. 31 packages were transmitted, 31 were transceived, 0 package loss. Here's 21. Here was a little bit slower because also I started a little bit later. Because pinging, you will most likely do a lot to ping other stuff, you know, to see. For instance, if you're using now, I'm using web servers from AWS. You also want to ping stuff and ping maybe others servers in a virtual private cloud to see, okay, do I have a connection outside or not? And do I receive something? So you want to check another web server if it's available or not. If you use an API from a web server, and yes, this is very important, or use a database. Also, another very important command I would say is nslookup to see if you get some things out of there. Let's use my domain, habibi-coding.com. Okay, as you can see, the command is not found on Debian. Let's try it here as well. Let's look up habibi-coding.com. And as you can see, nslookup was already installed um, on yeah, on Ubuntu. So what can we do now? We can try to install, and let's look up here sudo apt install nslookup. I have to locate package building dependency tree. Okay. And yes, maybe there is even another option to look up things. To be honest, I'm using more Ubuntu than Debian because I'm very used to, yeah, I'm used to Ubuntu. I'm using it also on my private notebook. I mean, if you want now, you can look up how to install nslookup, or if there's another tool or another command that is similar to nslookup. Yes, This should be just a brief introduction for general for operating systems of web servers. As you can see, Debian versus Ubuntu, it's quite similar. It's just what you like more and what you're used more. I would say, like, if you're like me, if you are um, using since a long time Ubuntu, stick with Ubuntu. It has a more frequent release cycle. And yeah, I would also say because of that, and also, yeah, um, other things. Otherwise, you can use Debian if you are really care about stability and stable releases and so on and so forth. There with the Ubuntu desktop version of GNOME, there are sometimes some bugs what I encountered, but very rarely. And maybe there's no things such things or more less bugs. I mean, there are bugs, but definitely less bugs maybe with Debian. So this was a short introduction. If you would like to see more content of this, like about operating systems, Linux, or maybe on Amazon Web Services to start things, let me know in the comment section below. And yes, I hope you liked that video. Just give me a like or comment some things if you have questions. And yeah, see you soon again. إلى اللقاء يا شباب.